about this. This is so awkward to watch.
Yeah, I listened to about 30 minutes of their discussion, and it was actually a pretty great discussion.
So actually, okay, so 5:30 podcast.
Yes,
Let's get
sir.
into it. So,
Hold
you
on,
do
hold
the
on.
intro better than me.
What's happening, man? 5 for 30 podcast. It's your boy Bo and my main man
Grip, get it. Grip, what's
Greg
up?
getting it right now. Getting lit. So we got 5 topics on the docket, same as every week. Gonna spend about 7 minutes dissecting some interesting topics from pop culture, hip hop, and things of that nature. So let's get into it, man. So we starting here? Is this where we're starting?
Yeah, let's start on this one.
Okay,
Let's pull
so
up this timer.
yeah,
Go ahead,
yeah.
go ahead.
Can you play the clip? Because
Yeah, I don't think.
it needs to be played.
Let's see where it says. So actually, real quick, I didn't
Yeah.
know who either of these guys were. So, and actually, you were about to explain it to me. I kind of learned a little bit about them, but tell me more. Like, you listen to this?
Yeah, I did listen to it. So, just for some context, Van Lathan is a correspondent at TMZ, and he's really an intelligent guy. And he's the guy who actually came out against Kanye West when Kanye West went up to TMZ. He was the dude. I don't know if you saw that, but he was the dude that stood up and said, "I don't think you're putting any thought into the things you're doing. You're hurting the community." A lot of different things like that. So, he became really popular after that, obviously, and I've listened to a few of his podcasts since, but I saw this where there was a comedian named Josh Denny, and he made a statement on Twitter saying that the phrase single white male is equivalent in today's society as the N word.
Right.
And so obviously people got up in arms because, that's kind of a wild comparison to make. And these in Van, like I said, he's a pretty intelligent dude. So he wanted to give this dude a chance to come on and like, tell it from his side before he passed judgment on it. He wanted to hear like, okay, well, why do you think this was acceptable? And so actually, it was a excellent dialogue between the two of them. It was really uncomfortable to listen to. I mean, they got into some real uncomfortable moments.
I only
But
saw
they
that
were
part, and it didn't seem like it was. When you say excellent dialogue, you mean from both of them? Because I thought the other guy was kind of just being.
Well, there were parts of the conversation for both of them that I didn't like. At certain spots in the conversation, Van became very defensive and kind of, there's this thing in society that's I see happening a lot, where I see like, especially in hip hop, you see all the time. And we'll touch on this a little later, but now that being a white rapper or white entertainer is in the hip hop world is so much more acceptable, I'm noticing that we're uncomfortable as people together. Like obviously you and I aren't, right?
But a lot of
But
people are. There's a lot of white listeners of hip hop that I think like. I think there's a lot like man. I like to like. I always am like psychologically dissecting it and being like it's a cry for help and some shit. But like I really think like a lot of people like. I think first off like I remember Rachel Dolezal. Remember her?
Yeah. Dalzell. Yeah.
There was this guy that was like, he was dissecting both as a black man, but he was like a psychologist or some shit too, and he was talking about it, and he was like, in trying to see the best of it in a way, he was like, I think she just really over-identified with the narrative of like overcoming and all this other stuff with. In what do you call it? Black culture and history in the U.S.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like she over-identified with like like, for lack of a better term, like. In a way, being black, like you're very blessed with like this story and rich history, that's actually kind of cool once you really get into it. And I think, and he was saying like that's what like she because she didn't really have that. I think she felt. I think a lot of white people get like this weird like self-consciousness about it when they're taking it in. Sometimes
Yes.
like they're not a part of it, maybe somehow,
Yes.
or that's what I think.
And I think it's been reinforced by black people as well. Van, he made a comment during the podcast where he says, "I don't need your help. We don't need your help."
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was kind of fucked up because why don't we need white people's help? I think we do. I think that's the wrong, in my opinion, that's the wrong vibe to give off if we're talking about coming together as a community, as a people. You can't say we don't need you. You have, and he even said, and it was a little bit like self-pity, but he even said he felt like he wasn't allowed to be in the conversation of how to empower black people. And I can understand where he was coming from a little bit.
Well, because I would even say I think like I don't in any way support like segregation by law or anything like that, but I would say that there's like a lot of times where like I think white people just need to like be quiet for a second, like, you know what I mean, like just like I don't know, like I hate when people get all in this thing about like safe spaces and millennials and all this other shit, but like it's more of like I don't think there's anything wrong with black people kind of having a space that's their own. You know what I mean? Like, does that
And
make sense?
that's interesting, and that's really and what gets even more confusing about that now is like I'm in an interracial relationship, so people are coming together regardless of all this bullshit, right? And it's making a lot of other people uncomfortable. And I think the reason I said it was a great dialogue because this was two people who really don't necessarily see eye to eye on the other person's understanding of Black history, but they had a conversation that was enlightening to me on both sides. So,
right.
For whatever it's worth, they took the time instead of just attacking each other. Like a lot of people attack Josh Denny because his comment to me wasn't intelligent. You can't. There's no way you can compare the phrase "straight white male" to
no, that's the fucking dumbest shit I've ever.
Yeah,
it
was
heard.
stupid, but it did create a dialogue that I was able to view, and I thought it was good. So yeah, play the.
Let's play this clip real quick.
If you listen to my album, there's a joke in there where I talk about how my father made a racist joke to me and my girlfriend. He said, "At least your girlfriend's only sand nigger and not all the way nigger." Mm-hmm. And I know the joke makes you uncomfortable, but I'm trying to point.
I can't hear it. Does it have sound?
Yeah, it's got sound. Sorry, I know you can't hear my screen.
I'm just telling
but he just said the
N-word. The reason why the language is important.
Yeah. Watch how it progresses.
He
gets uncomfortable.
And the punchline of the joke is, I go, no, Dad, like sand nigger is way worse.
Let me ask you a question.
Oh, you're not listening.
I am listening.
Okay.
Why would you say that again if I told you that it made me uncomfortable?
I'm telling you the full joke.
Oh, right. Fuck,
because it's in the joke.
No,
I'm quoting the joke.
It's cool.
I know, Josh.
Van, I'm trying to make a point about language,
I know, Josh. Just,
but
he's going. They can hear the recording. They can hear.
So
okay, cool.
So
what I was just gonna add to it is that
because of how uncomfortable that statement made me.
Van was very. He was aggressive after that, and and rightfully so. I mean, I think what he did was He was telling a joke. So the context of what he said to him was he was telling a joke in his stand-up routine that his father made to him when he was a child.
So he's quoting in a sense.
Yeah, basically about what his father said to his mother's new boyfriend who happened to be a black dude.
Listen, for me, that's
a comment he made about their situation. And he was basically making a joke that like how inappropriate it was. So he was making a joke about the fact that was a horrible thing that was said, and he was saying the joke to Van, and he was quoting himself at the comedy show. He was quoting his joke, and he thought it was okay to make that statement. And I think, and I was gonna ask you this: I've never heard you say that word. I don't think you do. I don't know, but I always felt like as a white dude, if I was a white dude, I would not use that word just to be safe.
Right. I was about to say on some selfish shit. Like I got okay. So this is a funny story. Like we were recording a song called I Just Want to Talk About Money. It's a very ignorant rap song over here the other day with me. This is a while ago. It's almost done. We got to re-record the hook. It's actually kind of cool. Anyways, me, Aaron, and Evan are in here. Everybody's drinking. They're trying to get me to come in on the group vocal too. And it has an N-word, and I'm like, I'm not going to say it. And they're like, come on, no one's going to be able to hear it, blah, blah, blah. And I wouldn't do it, right? Because I'm going to be like, no, fuck that. Now I can't say that I don't say it if you fucking have me saying it, right? But, and I just thought that was funny. But, because both those guys.
And just to stop you real quick, I think you made a very good decision because my thing is why put yourself in a situation? I mean, of course, Aaron and them and Evan and they those are your boys. They gonna have your back. It's not like they're ever gonna feel like you're a racist. They know you,
right?
But people on the street who might be like, "Hey man, I heard you on
your hood pass
is
regional, bro. You can't like I don't make use of it to be frank with you. Like I don't, but like I know I kind of have it in certain places. But it's regional. You can't like I know these guys and they're cool with it, so I'm just gonna go say it right now. QT to some people I don't know. That's offensive. Because I'm sorry, I'm like, here's my view. Here's my view in like one quick sentence. Because I hate people always bring up the freedom of speech thing is what always white people, freedom of speech. Freedom of speech, there's no law saying you can't say that shit. Freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences of your actions. So someone can tell you to shut the fuck up and you can lose all your sponsorships. There's no, that's not freedom of speech, bro.
Right.
Like, you're clearly not understanding what that word means when people say that shit.
Exactly. And like I said, I think your decision was smart. I think, and we'll get into it more going into
we got a lot of N-word, good N-word conversation today.
We do. Let's roll to the next one, man.
Yeah, let's do it. And so I'm actually gonna real quick.
No, do your thing. But I will give a little bit of more context to the conversation. Josh made the point that he uses that terminology because it's jarring to people, and I do kind of understand. Just
from a comedian standpoint, I get that.
Well, if you deliver that joke and you put in the N-word instead of what was actually said, you're not going to get the same impact of the joke. And he was trying to say that. And I don't know that that's a proper excuse for using that language. I mean, me personally, I think because I use it in my raps, I feel like use it if you want. It's on you. I'm not going to sit up here and like side-eye you or like kick you out of the room if you... And that kind of rolls into the Kendrick conversation. I'm not going to like, throw a fit if you do it, but you're doing it at your own consequence. You know what I mean? Like,
right, you're not gonna save you. I'm not gonna save you either.
Right, exactly. I'm not jumping in the crowd helping you out
to protect you if you do that shit. No, I mean, because that's another one. I saw a meme about it the other day where it was like, I don't remember the meme. It was like, what the meme was pointing out was like, people like black guys will throw that out if it's like a white girl with a fat ass. Is saying the N-word, and I would say this. I've seen the opposite of that. Where I did my last video at the video shoot I did for Dramatic. That girl that was in the video, most models are kind of crazy, bro. And I don't know. I don't think she was around black people that often. And Aaron and Evan were there. And then the girl that was dancing in the video came, and her mom was there too. She was 18. She's really cool. I think she's just like starting to get into it. Her mom's really cool. And so there was a lot of black people there, and she was being really cool with everybody, and then like she kept doing like the same thing, like not like her saying the N-word, but like repeating like what maybe someone that would say the N-word would say or something like that. Does that make sense? She said it like 3 times. She said the N-word, and she said it with an A and all that, but she said it like and
then so that relates directly to the Kendrick thing. So